Happy Wednesday, guys. Happy Wednesday. What's up, Drew? It's good to see you, man. Feeling a little holiday spirit this week. Feels good. Feels good. Not gonna lie. It feels good. Yeah. Oh. It's gonna be a nice, easy one today, guys. Nice, easy one. Lots of stuff to update you guys on. Developments, all kinds of stuff. Thank you, wheelchair. Thank you. It's you guys can't. Let me give you a little full screen there. I lopped off the bottom, like it was almost 3 inches of just like scraggly growth that hadn't really filled in, and I was like, you know what? Let's cut that shit off like the dead weight that 2021 mostly is. It's back to looking full and thick and meaty, right? It doesn't have all the scraggly shit going on down there. I wish I had done it sooner. But yeah, looks better, feels better. Yeah, and I gotta say, today, for the first time, probably today, I'm starting to feel that holiday spirit, whatever it is, whatever that is to you, right? Whatever that is to each person. I don't know. For some reason, I started feeling it today. My parents are coming next week. They're going to see the new house for the first time. They're going to be here through New Year's, all that stuff. Like I'm starting to feel that. You know what it was? First thing this morning. This is one of the things I'm excited to tell you guys about today. For the first thing I did this morning, I got up, took a shower, threw some clothes on, and I went to a local craft butcher here in Vegas. Because with my parents here, I wanted to do a traditional like prime rib dinner for New Year's Eve before we went out for festivities and things like that. So we were looking at places that we could go out to. One, it was going to be very expensive. Two, can't find a reservation anywhere. I don't care if you want to eat at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You can't find a reservation anywhere. At least for a place like that would be able to have a really nice steak or a prime rib dinner kind of thing. And then, of course, you've got the Southern tradition of the black-eyed peas and the collard greens for luck and money. So I decided, we've got this new house. We've got this completely overhauled kitchen. We've got a beautiful dining room. Parents are going to be here. Let's make it ourselves. Let's make prime rib, collard greens, black-eyed peas, mashed potatoes. Let's make it ourselves. So I did. So this morning, I'm really excited. For those of you that are into meat, you're going to prepare yourselves. Prepare a little mouth diaper. I went to this craft butcher this morning, first thing, and ordered 5 pounds of prime rib roast. USDA prime, a little extra marbling. And they're going to dry age it in their reefers for 7 days. And I'm just going to go pick it up on the morning of New Year's Eve, bring it home, let it sit out, get to room temperature, and then just bake it. 5 pounds of rib roast. Oh yeah. Oh, it's going to be so good. Oh, God. 5 pounds of USDA prime rib. Mashed potatoes, black-eyed peas, collard greens. Nice big bottle of wine. Yeah. That's going to be good. Lots of pictures in the Discord, I promise, for that. Or I'll share with you guys some of the pictures the following week. I don't know how much I'm going to stream next week because the folks are going to be here. I definitely wanted to stream today. We'll see about Friday being Christmas Eve and all that. I figured I'd jump on, play some games, chat with you guys. Maybe it's not a full 2 hours. But lots of stuff to talk about. The very first thing being Ethernet. When we were first looking at this house way back, it feels like 2 years ago in August, one of the first things I was looking at, I asked the realtor to eyeball for me was, do you see Ethernet jack plates on the walls? He was the first one to come and look at the house for us and do a FaceTime walkthrough with us. And he said, yes, they're in every room. And I was like, yes, okay, this is a contender then. And then everything else just worked out and it ended up being the perfect house for us. Fast forward 3 months to when we actually get here, and I can't find anywhere any kind of truncation point or demarcation point for all of this Ethernet. Literally every room has Ethernet jacks in it, keystones in the walls. They're everywhere, but I can't find anywhere that these all come into in one place. And I'm confused. I ultimately end up finding a flush panel for on cue, which, if you don't know, it's a in-house home audio intercom. It was very popular in the 2000s and the 2010s mostly, but it's done by Legrand, and it controls home audio, TV. You can run Spotify through it, choose which zones you want it to be, and all that stuff. Here's the thing. House was built in 2007, first put on the market in 2008, and all of that wiring is in place. Nobody ever put speakers in. Nobody ever did the installation of the Legrand system. The panel is there with a couple of the modules, but nobody ever put the speakers in. Nobody ever wired up the intercoms or installed the intercoms. Nobody ever put in the centralized TV controls, right? Basically, you can have all the TVs on in the house and have the audio from the TV, one TV source, playing over the speakers in the house. It's a pretty cool concept, but I think it's dated. So the good news here is that there is an abundance of Cat 5e everywhere because the entire on-cue Legrand system uses Cat 5e to communicate with phone lines. Cat 5e, which we'll get to in a second. That one was an interesting one, troubleshooting one. The speakers from the ceiling down the wall to the wall jack, Cat 5e. I'm still uncertain why they needed a keystone wall plate. Like, what are you actually going to plug into that? Anyway, it all runs back to the master bathroom closet with this on-cue panel. And I found them all. Some of them were wired up. Some of them were not. And the interesting part of all of this is that nobody ever in 2007, when they were building this house, nobody ever really conceptualized whole house wired Ethernet, but they were using Cat 5e to facilitate other things. So the entire house has Cat 5e, but it was never intended to be used for Ethernet, for internet, right? And local LAN. So all I had to do, this was a boon for me, because I don't ever have any intention of doing the in-house speaker stuff. I mean, it's good to know it's there. I've got it in the studio here. I could put 6 speakers in the ceiling up here if I wanted to. But I don't know. So anyway, all I had to do was go in and put ends on these Cat 5s, test them. I had pulled the toner out, plugged it into one of them, went back up to the box, toned it out, found the cable, punched down an end, put a little Netgear switch in the box, and started plugging them in. Or I got my tester next and was testing it. This is where some things really came to light. When I actually had a live link and I could test it end to end. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about. Let me have a visual aid here. Scrolling. I went too far. Where was the picture? I thought I put it in home improvement. Did I not? I did not. Let's see. Yeah, that'll work. So what I had to start with, you'll see a lot of them aren't terminated. They're just sitting there. And then a lot of them had like these, hang on, let me pull this up.
All right, guys, so welcome to my hell.
So in this panel, you had this patch panel for phones, for phone lines, to link up the phone lines to the on-cue system. The problem is there's no on-cue system. This is all just like pre-cabling. This is so that when the system were to get in, there's usually like a big panel, like a control panel that goes in these things. We also had this in the last house in Apex. It's why the whole house was wired already. And I just had to, remember, you guys might remember last year we pulled everything through the wall. In 2020 actually, we punched a hole in the drywall, pulled the whole bundle through and punched it down to an actual patch panel and put it in the rack. This one is very similar, but except that it doesn't have the on-cue control panel. So somebody wired this house, and in 15 years, they've never used an ounce of it. The phone lines, useless. Because it doesn't have anywhere to go. It's absolutely, and then the coax is a disaster because it's everywhere, and it's really only four of them were terminated. We're actually hooked up to a splitter with the main coming in. So I started yesterday morning with a toner, trying to trace out and just do some discovery on what was in this house. And what yesterday turned into was just doing the whole project, because what I realized was they've wired the whole house for me. I have no intention of using on-cue, but by God, I've got a wired house. So I can just terminate it myself. So let me get out of this. So now I get things organized. I pull those two little panels out. I cut everything loose. I get my bundles organized. They had black taped them all together in bundles, like per room. It might make it easier to pull it. But then at the end of the day, I end up punching it down, and that's what we ended up with. So I just coiled up everything I didn't need. The blue ones, this is also interesting. I only ended up using one of the blue ones, which I may end up using more. The blue ones are the phone lines. Phone lines. By phone lines, I mean that if you go to the keystone, they only punch down two of the pairs. So I did the blue one, and when I tested it, it would go blank, blank, light, 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 blank, blank. And I went, did I punch it down? Did I put the RJ45 on? Oh. So I went and pulled the wall plate off, pulled the keystone out, and saw that the other two pairs were just like wrapped around the Cat 5. So all I did was get my punch tool, put those in the keystone, tester in, lights up fine. So, guys, if I'm overly excited about this, I apologize, but understand that I thought I was going to have to bring somebody in, cut holes in drywall, pull fresh cables everywhere. Like I was preparing myself for the worst. This is the best case scenario possible, because the first cable that I tested and found was the bridge, the uplink that goes up here to the studio. It's over here to the left. You guys can't see it. It's right here to my left. But the outlet that's already here, so all I had to do was put a little switch, uplink, and then I could put everything else in. So the rest of these I'll get to eventually. It got to be about 4 o'clock yesterday, and after 4 or 5 hours, I was tapping out. But I can punch these or put RJ ends on these pretty quickly. Take me about an hour. Get all of them on there. Both of the runs in Esther's office are done. I've got an uplink up here to the switch. We've got living room and the bedroom to wire the back hall of the Eero. I'm done. And now what I'm curious about is, do I have another one that is behind the media stand back here? I think I do, because right now I have to run a cable across the stairway back there. I don't know if you can see that. There's a little gray cable that's running across. I got a piece of, a wire protector, floor thing. What I'm hoping is that I've got one behind the media stand, and that way I can just plug in the switch that's behind the media stand. So all in all, this turned out to be amazing. You can see my one coax that I kept, which is my main in going up here to the studio for the cable modem, right? That's the one that's there. And then everything else is just over Ethernet. This is such a win. This is such a huge win. Like, big time. So I was very excited to be able to get this done yesterday. The whole house is now wired. Apple TVs, all the Eeros are all wired backhaul. And I've also discovered these 3 little conduits here. Like, where are these going? So we're gonna do some more kind of adventure discovery work. I'm gonna put a little laser pen light kind of thing, LED, on the end of 25. I think it's 25 feet. I don't know. I think it's 50 feet. 25 meter fish tape, and tape it up and just run it up and see where it goes, and have Esther wiggle it around at the box here while I'm up in the attic trying to find where it's coming out. Who knows where this goes? Because if I can track this down, where this conduit goes and which ones go into which place, that's going to be huge for things like pulling fresh Cat 6 over time, right? If I wanted to do a Cat 6 pull for the main uplink and put the small micro tick down here for 10 gig. Not that I have any use for 10 gig anywhere outside of the studio right now, but 10 years from now, 5 years from now, who knows? Who knows what we're going to run into in the next few years? So big dub for Nick yesterday. Very excited about this. The entire house is wired. It's one of my favorite things that have happened yet in the house. The only way I could do this better is getting this out of the master bathroom closet. Like, you have to walk into the master bedroom, into the bathroom, past the water closet, and into the master bathroom closet, master closet that's on the other side of the bathroom to get to this panel on the very back of the house. I would put this in the utility room, laundry room, which is right in the middle of the house, and I could put this in a wall and run conduit straight up here, but to the wall behind. The laundry room is directly under the cabinets, to give you perspective. I could run it straight up that wall and just have my runs right there. Did I see the blog and data you posted in Discord that will all do 10 gig over? Yeah, I have. Listen, the longest runs, it would be interesting to do. How would I test that, Jason? How would I properly test a run for 10 gig throughput? Because I have no idea. I wish there was a way that I could, a tool. I remember there used to be a tool that I could plug in that would tell me how long the run is. Or there were some like end-to-end testers that would tell me how long the cable run was based on how long it took the signal to go back and forth. cable analyzer? It was, I think I had a really nice fluke tester 15 years ago, 16, 18 years ago, that just told me how long the cable run was. And I took it for granted because I thought all of them did that. Cable prowler. That's not it. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. It was a fluke. Yeah. So for up to 40 gig Ethernet deployments, will handle any cabling system. Certifying cables part of the process. Blah 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 blah. Copper provides accurate error-free certification in the installation business. There are multiple. Yeah, I used to have something similar to this. That's a good idea too, Jason. Just put an endpoint on each one. And then just do a file copy or a throughput test. Yeah. Log into the Netgear doing your system monitoring, see if the cable tester thing is in there. I don't have it plugged in yet, but I will. It was actually a project I was going to work on today, and then I realized I can't I can't unplug the network stuff while I'm streaming. That's one of the difficult parts of doing this. I want to show you guys all this stuff, but every time I go start yanking network cables, I unplug production. Literally and figuratively. So the next couple of... So this afternoon, I've got to finish my list of to-dos to prepare for the parent. We've got to finish the guest bathroom, which is like hanging up a shower curtain, putting hardware in, things like that. We're changing the door handles on all the doors in the house to a different style and color, stuff like that. Little stuff, but little stuff adds up, takes time. Tomorrow, we're gonna be over there because it's time. It's time to get that thing running. So what I need to do is dig back through my emails when I was going back and forth with EK water blocks and find where I need to plumb that one run. I had it in one hole. It needs to move over one. That's the one thing I've got left to do. Then we're going to pressure test it with the EK pressure tester, see if that holds up. Then we're going to fill it with distilled water. I can't wait to turn the thing on and just light it up, right? And just see what the lights and the fans and all that shit looks like. We've got a shitload of cabling to sort out in the back. Probably 2 Commander Pros are going to have to go in there, I think. And yeah. So basically, my parents are getting here, I think it's Wednesday the 29th. Yeah, a week from today. So I've got a week. So Christmas, obviously, Esther and I aren't going anywhere for Christmas. We're not really doing anything. We didn't even decorate because we just moved in, and we wanted to, but we didn't want to. We would rather spend the time and the money, retrofitting the house and turning it into a home. So we opted to do that. Parents are coming the week after, next Wednesday, staying through, I think, the 4th. So it's good. So the next couple of days are dedicated to getting the last little bits of stuff sorted out in here. We're gonna what's the right word? We're going to decommission the two SG300 switches, and we're going to swap it out with the old GS724T. Thank you very much, Drew, for donating this to the studio. Really appreciate it. We'll get that guy in to replace both of those. And
Hold, please.
actually, does this work?
Hold, please.
Kinda, not really. I would like to introduce you guys to the MikroTik CRS 317 10 gig 16 port switch. Oh, look at it. Oh, take it in. Oh, it's sexy. 16 SFP plus ports. So it's also got redundant power, which is nice. Right? If I actually had redundant power circuits. Handy to have. Something I didn't expect, that I didn't really factor into it or pay attention to, but for $399, for $400, guys. Let me also show you something else on the back. You see that big son of a bitch? It's got fans, but they're all but silent. The 8-port version, 9-port version of this that I have now is silent. $400 for I'll call it fanless and do air quotes. $400 for a 16-port 10 gig switch. So I'm now down to Netgear 24-port, MikroTik 16-port. So no more double Cisco switches because of lack of port count. Those can be repurposed elsewhere. They're also fanless, but they're managed, so they're worth hanging on to. Drew, does Netgear do anything special if I uplink one of the smaller switches, like what's in the cabinet? Like if it's Netgear to Netgear, does that get me in? Does anything special do that there? Because I've got a couple of the little 4 and 5 port ones too that I use for like the media center downstairs, and the one up here. I've got a 16 port behind the media center here behind me under the TV. Does it do any special communications, or can it like manage an unmanaged switch? Little extension uplink like that? Or does it matter? Not on the unmanaged ones? Yeah, it's more about awareness and like, can I see the ports, what's connected and what's lit up and all of that stuff, all of that. It would be really cool if those acted like blades in a chassis switch. You get what I'm saying? Like if it could find all the little Netgears that were uplinked to your core switch and treat them as if they were blades in a chassis. It doesn't have okay. That would be just sweet. Netgear, are you listening? Firmware update. Make your own shit aware of all your other shit. You should be able to detect that it's a small Netgear switch on the same network. Yeah, it'd be cool if it could just like talk to the firmware and like get the ports, give the device a name in the core switch so you could put a label on it. Yeah, I know they don't, but it would be a nice to have. Because I think you can transfer all that stuff over Ethernet now. Not like, I mean, what is, so LLDP, I know of CDP, I know Cisco Discovery Protocol. I'm not too familiar with LLDP. What is LLDP? Link layer, that's right. Yeah. Wins, basically. I think it would be a really easy value add thing to fix or to add on if they could figure out how to, because think about how many like core enterprise switches you have and how many little switches are around everywhere else in the corporate office or Even in a residential situation like this, I've got I've got 3 right now in service. 2 16s and a 5-port in the living room for like Apple TV and Eero and right. I don't really want them fully managed. Like, I'm not going to do lag groups and shit off of that. I would just, like, an awareness. Show me, as part of the GUI of the core switch, show me that a particular port has a Netgear switch plugged into it, right? And then that way, as part of, like, the GUI, you can build out a diagram that shows link light, activity, collect metrics on transfer, flow control, baud rates, all of that stuff, right? I want to see all of that. It's just an awareness thing. But if the core switch, the core managed switch, could at least have awareness of all of that, it'd be a really cool thing to bring in. I mean, you'd have a Netgear customer for life. TP-Link does some of that? Yeah. That's cool. It's all just different flavors. Okay. Yeah. Exactly. So you have a more centralized management app. Like Cisco had, God, what was that Cisco? There was kind of a universal software that my network engineer partner used to use to manage all of like the 3948s and shit like that we had across all the different sites, and it was a kind of a universal view of the entire network, and he could like double click into one and it would open up a console session and things like that, or a web console things. I just forget what that software is called. I never messed with any of it. DCNM? Okay. So yeah, after the stream today, probably going to swap the switches out. I need to find... God, I wish I had a way to show you guys. I almost want to put like a 24-hour stream up of like behind the camera or behind the rack. Have a little GoPro in there or something. That's the other thing we need to do. Actually, we might be able to do that today. What is the TripLight PDU software? I haven't done this yet. I wonder if we could do this today. Management software. Power Alert Local. So they sent me a CD with something on it, but I'm like, I don't even have a CD drive. Device management, Power Alert Local. Downloads. Oh, it's a zip. Awesome. Come on. Na 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 na. So what I want to try, I gotta go put a cable in it, obviously. Let's try setting up the PDU. See what we can see. What was it called? Power Alert. Ooh, okay. Engine address. That's this. Okay. Battery, miscellaneous. This is... All right, let me go get a cable in it real quick. One sec, guys. Ugh. All right. So let's look at Amazon orders. I need to find the model number. Where does it say model number? Is it details down here? Oh, there it is. Management solutions. Okay. So this is the one that I have. It has two Ethernet ports on it. One for config, which I'm assuming is a console cable. The other one is Ethernet. So I jacked into the Ethernet port. Got a link light. Everything looks good. So now it's really about how do we find the documents and downloads, documentation, product videos, drawing, Power Alert device manager. For switched or monitored PDUs. Am I missing one that says downloads? Download images. All right, well. Okay, let's see what this is. Oh, God. Stock footage. Marketing video. Oh, that's dope. Look at that. No URL up there, though. Cool. HTML5 dashboard. All right. That's kind of cool. Speaking of this, I need to update you guys on what's going on with the NetApp stuff too in just a minute. I forgot about that. Okay. This is all great. Where do I get the software? I thought you were going to show me. No. Okay. High-level overview, device manager for networked triplet. It's not a UPS. New auto probe feature. Oh, God. Yeah, we've been able to do that for decades. Self-healing is interesting. Okay. Yeah, and edge offices where Linda in accounting doesn't know where the rack is, so at least you could. That's cool. Yeah, this isn't what I'm looking for though, guys. Did that software find anything? How about settings? Scan for new devices. Your auto discovery request has been sent to the Power Alert engine. When in doubt. Do. Oh, I didn't put a space.
Hello, I'm Dave. I'm going to
Hi,
show
Dave.
you how to remotely manage a switched PDU using the PDU's built-in IP functionalities.
Cool.
I'll assume you already know your PDU's IP address.
I do not.
You'll use that to access the device.
Let's have a look. Let's see what the old Eero says. No, not that one. Is that it, maybe? No, that's just a bunch of IPv6 addresses. Beijing Sinead Technology Company. What? What is this doing on my network? That might be it. It just doesn't tell me an IP address. Interesting. It's only giving me IPv6 addresses. So how do I get the software? Add device, communication port. Oh, I probably have the wrong software. Power Alert Device Manager, command line interface, owner's manual. Sure. Oh, this is the CLI reference. LX platform devices support a full-featured CLI. Nearly all functions and controls available through the web interface. CLI allows one of the scripts to access through our USB RG config port. Once connected, use the terminal emulator to access control. So I can get it in the terminal window that appears in the default login and password are both local admin. Note the initial login to the device may require a password change. In this case, prompts will be provided for changing the password upon successful login. Welcome message appears. So do I have to get in here and set an IP address? It's not just going to pull one with DHCP. Logs. Oh, God. Let's see. Device, net. Is there network, DNS? There's DNS. IPv4, 113. Jesus. All right. 113. Yeah, looks like we got a console. So hang on one second. All right, be right back. One sec. This is good stuff. Okay, so if we get into Pete and we go COM3, look at that. Ta-da! All right, so let me full screen that guy. Get off my cable. I'm about ready to go full wireless headphones, guys. Not gonna lie, the cable's starting to get a little bit unruly. And now that I'm doing less podcasting, it's less important. So what do they say? Local admin. Local admin. Hey, we're in. Okay. Devices. Network configuration. There we go. IP configuration. Manual so DHCP is enabled. IPv4 settings. Method. I probably want to give it a static IP. So let's give it a static IP. And then we'll go address. Enter address. So let's go 192. No. 172.16.10. What did I cut? Yeah. Gateway 4. What else? Primary DNS, manual DNS. Set that off to the side there. Don't really need DNS in this thing, but you never know. We'll do primary DNS as the gateway. because it'll just forward it. Apply. Yes. Farewell, local admin. We should start seeing ping replies, I hope. Oh, I did 215. Well, oh no, that's the host address. Okay. Do I need to it didn't give me a... Oh, there it is. Hey, look at that. Press any key. Whoa, hang on. Okay. Whoa. Timed out. Whoa. Yeah, just let it boot. IP address default gateway. HTTPS on 443. Okay. Cool. SSH on 22, SNMP 161, okay. Hey, nope, it timed out. Okay. I mean, I guess we just got to sit here and let it do its thing. At some point, it should prompt me to log in again. I can see it going up and down over here. Okay. Network config. IP config. We're pinging 172.16.10.205, 172.16.10.205. Is ICMP off? User access interfaces. Web. Automatically start. Yes, yes. Okay. Menu. It's interesting that I still can't ping it. Devices. Device name. Ooh, that's cool. Look at that. That's pretty dope. So that's true. It's only using 1 amp. It's toggling between 1 and 2 amps. I don't have the NetApp on right now, which I'll update you guys on in a minute. There's a reason I've got it turned off. So max output is 8 amps. Oh, that's that. Okay, so that's the max that it saw. So that must have been when I had the whole rack running and I fired up the NetApp controllers and shelf. That alone was 6 amps, and there was another 1 to 2 amps being used. So it peaked at 8 amps, which is probably the highest I'll ever see in that cabinet. If it got much higher than that, I would look at putting it dedicated circuits in. That's pretty cool that you can see all of that. Alarms and logging. View logs. Data log, event log, event log. Start viewing log. What does it show you here? Okay, so pretty simple. Launch CLI. How about launch web interface? Why am I not able to see? Do I need to be specific about, like, do I need to specify everything? Like, I can't even ping the port or ping the IP. Maybe it doesn't have it should be able to see it. I wonder if that's that port in the switch. Like, there's so many little whoa. Let me try a different port in the switch. Hang on. Might be something weird there. Hey, look at that. So again, who knows the configuration on that switch? There we go. Okay. So I was doing everything right. It's stupid switch, old config. All right. Local admin. We'll get that changed. Cool. Status overview. That's it? That's all I get to see? This is just a little Java app? About? Alright, you can go away. Configuration, network. Don't need that. Don't need that. Do I have to save? Apply. Don't need to reset the device just yet. Scheduling. That's cool. Actions. Cool. Action type email. Add. So I guess you have to set up contacts. Add. How do you delete it? I push the plus sign. I guess it doesn't really matter. Rack Daddy. I don't know. Yeah, it's making me... Oh, okay. Ah, okay, that's interesting. Delete row. Okay. So now if I apply... Hello, Mr. UPS man. Vanny, what's up, brother? Doing a little switch PDU configuration here. Actions. So I need to. So default contact, that's me. Event target device. On set events. Output current below. Hang on. Let's see what we got. Below threshold. Communications lost. It's not very exciting. It's a PDU, right? There's only so exciting you can get on a PDU. We're basically just setting up notifications. Oh, come on. Oh, I hate this. It's hiding it because you guys can't see it. That's why I was trying to keep it. There we go. Clear. Yeah, that's fine. Let's see what that does. If it gets a little spammy, we can come in and turn that stuff off. Yeah, it either delivers power or it doesn't, right? I won't lie. I was hoping for a little bit more elegant dashboard here. I was looking for some graphs and something really nice. It's pretty cool that it gives you real-time numbers here, though. This is all in real time. So I can see that my max current that I put out was 8 amps so far. My current, where's my current? Can I divide? Status device configuration, device settings. I want to change the name of the device. NTP probe. Function, device properties. Where do I change that? Network, pool is fine. No, we can use, there we go. America Pacific or Los Angeles. We're probably not gonna have a Las Vegas. Let's see if we got a Pacific. No, so Los Angeles works. I always use Los Angeles for everything Pacific. That's still not right. Oh, I guess we gotta apply it. I like that it's using ntp.org though. That's cool. 2018. Apply. Successfully saving date and time settings will log session out. You can log in again in a minute or two after that. Sure. I still got the console session up. We can see it. I did. I set the DNS to the gateway. That should forward it to the ISP. Let's see. Configuration. Device settings. Yeah, interesting. All right. So, I mean, what? Where is the actual IP config? There we go. There we go. Oh, interesting. It didn't save the DNS. All right. 8 or 1.1.1.1. And then 8.8.8.8. Fine. Yeah, let's reset the device for that. So I'll say this as well. much like we were talking about with the Netgear switches being able to recognize peer unmanaged devices, trip light. I don't know how you would do it, but I've got 2 of your horizontal rack mount trip light 13-port devices that also have digital displays for amperage and utilization and all of that stuff. What's to say we couldn't plug in some kind of communication port so that a master core PDU like this could see other trip lights? I'm pretty sure that, okay, looks like we're back up now. Local admin, loading, bark, bark, and it's coming up. We're going to go back in there and turn IPv6 off. Did I not type that in right? APC definitely does have that, but it's more, you're basically, like, it can't recognize its own devices between the two, but you can have multiple managed devices show up like this, right? I would love to see like a sort of network map of stuff like that. Neighbor device awareness. Yeah. Okay. So Vinny, before you got here, we were talking about like this. I'm going to be swapping in this managed Netgear switch, right? To replace 2 aging Cisco small business switches. So consolidate 2 into 1, more port count and all that stuff. But I've got 3 other unmanaged Netgear switches in the house, in various rooms, doing various things. And we were talking about how it'd be really nice if the Netgear managed switches had the ability to recognize unmanaged neighbors, right? And at least show you link activity, right? Connect rate, 100 meg, 1000 meg, whatever it might be. At least have that awareness. It'd be really cool. I don't think it does have mapping, but it'll only map other managed switches, managed devices. So it doesn't have the awareness of just a kind of a dumb unmanaged 16-port Netgear, for example. Like what I put in the build that table. Yeah, they could totally do that, right? You could totally build that off the ARP table. Exactly. All right, device configuration, device settings. Load. We want no, that's totally wrong. It is not 9 p.m. It's also not 4 p.m. I told it updated the date. Oh, it's UTC time. Oh, UTC time and date. Up here, current local time, 1:06. It did it. Okay. Sorry. I haven't had to do UTC in 15 years. Okay. So that's working. Let's go back to network. Can I just turn off IPv6? Is that what stateless means? Disabled? Let's see. You know what would be really... I wonder if there's software out there, open source or other, that can do some of this stuff in a more elegant way. Like, is there software? Can Grafana do a better version of the database, of the utilization? Huh. It's worth looking into. Oh, come on. Also, it does have an FQDN. Okay. Let's look at the Eero again and see what it came up as. Comes up as Triplite. That's pretty dope. Nice. I don't know if you guys can see that. And there's our IP 205 MAC address. That's pretty dope. Cool. Come on, load in. Thank you. So I need to change. So let's go to security. User. Whoa. I'm wondering if that needs to be there for the web interface. That's why I'm leaving that there. Don't show the password, you brats. Hang on. Sorry, guys. Can I change the... I can change the name. Okay. So let's just go data center dude. All right. And we'll apply. For user data center dude, password must be defined. I did define it. Okay. Oh, okay. So hopefully it still lets me log in. Oh, nope. I messed up. There we go. Let's see if this works. Please work. Okay. Cool. How long have I been in this house? November 5th. About almost 2 months. And let's give the device a name. configuration, device settings, device, system. A Starship PDU. Location, Las Vegas. Regions. Firmware version. Let's update that. Device properties saved. If we go out, go back. Starship PDU. Nice. There we go. So we need to look and see model number. MNV 20LX. Is that it? No. PDU MNV 20LX. Oh. Let's look for PDU MNV 20LX. Where are software? MIB package. Firmware. PADM. I'm on PADM 20, right? About. Is there a way to update the firmware? Configuration. Device settings. Starship. Firmware version 693038B. Like, that's a completely different naming. Oh, hang on. Software, Power Alert platform, Power Alert local. Wait, this is new versions of Power Alert Device Manager. I want the firmware. I'm pretty sure I got 20. Okay, so while we're tinkering with this, I wanted to go over some of the NetApp things. Because we're running out of time, frankly. So, why are the NetApps turned off? Well, we could not figure out, wiped the thing 2 to 3 times, trying to figure out why the shelf disks. Let me grab one. I'll show you. Oh. .8 terabytes. right? And there's 24 of them. Could not for the life of us figure out why OnTap was only showing them as 184 gigabytes available. Thought it was some weird configuration thing, thought it was shelf firmware, thought it was disk firmware, upgraded OnTap, like everything. We went through every single thing. And this goes back to the lesson that I taught myself 15 years ago. At least. Rule number 1 in any troubleshooting, always start with the physical. Power cords, Ethernet cables, KVM. 90% of those cases can be solved with resetting connections. Always start with the physical. You know what I didn't do? I didn't start with the physical. I didn't check the drive itself. The caddy, it's in a 3.8 terabyte caddy. The bad news is that ain't a 3.8 terabyte drive. That is a 200 gig flash pool drive. Because somebody put the wrong drives in big caddies. In the lab or in whatever reason, right? If it was a display unit, they didn't want people yanking 4 terabyte drives out, and they would only lose a caddy in a 200 gig drive. So off we went on another grand adventure, searching for 24 actual usable drives. Luckily, we found 24, I think they're 1.8 terabyte in size, but the lab guys are shipping those to me. They should be here today. In fact, they might be sitting on the porch right now because UPS has come by. But what I need to do is go through and swap out the caddies and all of that stuff. You're on stream.
I know.
Hi.
They're not sitting on the front porch.
They're not sitting on the front porch.
For me.
Those are for you. Damn it.
Do you want me out?
So, at some point this week, I should be getting a little Esther cameo there. At some point this week, I should be getting new drives. We're going to put those in. We're going to ADP the shelf again, do whole disk, 9C the shelf, and have it back up and running. What I can show you, hang on one second. Let me see if I can get this pulled up real quick. I was very pleasantly surprised. I'm trying to remember when I actually powered it off. Oh, nope. I want to see account services, my account, view usage. This day. What was the 15th? The 15th was Wednesday. Can I see more than a week? How about the month? Boom, boom. I'm pretty sure that's when I powered them up. But the temperature was also going up. So it was warmer. This is when I was powering them up because I think the 13th was a Sunday. It was Monday. So I hooked it all up and I think I powered them up on Thursday. So the point is like I was still only pulling a total of 52 and they were on for a couple of days before we turned them back off. But if you look at my utilization since then, like even with the heat running, it's been colder. Where it's still not that much more. Right? 5 to 10 more kilowatt hours per day. What's it going to cost me? An extra, what? $1 a day? So at the end of I'm fine with that. The good news is that the solar is installed, by the way. Everything is in place. We just have to, it's a waiting game now. It's sitting around waiting for Clark County here in Vegas to come by, do their inspection, sign off on the permits of job completed, all that stuff. And once that's done, we can throw the breakers. NV Energy also has to come out and like sign off on the meter as one that can send power back to the grid. Like all of that stuff has to happen now. And it could take 4 to 6 weeks from what I was told literally yesterday. So we could be looking at the end of January, early February. But before I can turn it on. But which sucks because I'd love to be just banking power right now. Feels like a waste. The good news is it's all done. I got it done before the end of the year, which means I've got proof that I did it and I can still get the 26% federal rebate on the installation. From what I understand, it just has to be installed, not in use, because you pay for the system, not the utilization. Does that make sense? So yeah, we'll see. But with that offsetting, like all of this is going to get, we're going to have a whole dashboard of fun stuff to look at in about 6 weeks, right? We'll be able to start looking at an hourly basis of power generation that the solar panels are generating and how much of that is offsetting the NV Energy stuff. So I will say that this month, our power bill came in at $165. Our monthly rate on the solar system that's rated to be able to generate 50 kilowatt hours per day, $145 a month. Static for a year. Oh, and we don't have to make a payment for 3 months. So it's basically negated our power bill, I hope. My point is, the reason of telling the whole story, 50 kilowatt hours, even at peak, the highest point we've reached within the last week when I had the A200 running, that's all going to be generated and covered by the solar system. And over the course of the next year, hopefully, fingers crossed, I can get my access to some power walls and get 2 to 4 power walls put up in the garage, bank the energy before ever sending it back to the grid, and I've got 4 fully charged power walls that I can pull from as excess before it ever pulls from the grid. Right? So there's a plan. It just, unfortunately, like everything else when you're doing home building and renovation stuff, it just takes time and patience. So we kind of got to sit around and hurry up and wait for the municipal government to do their job, which is most of the time the case anywhere you go. And we'll see how it goes. Makes you think twice about your solar proposals? Yeah. I pay attention. Most power companies have this information readily available. You can see this is our actual utilization in kilowatt hours. Can I change that measurement? Like per 15 minutes? That's kind of cool. Little spikes there. Must have been when the heat was cycling or something. It'd be interesting to see what was running and what correlates to the utilization and break it down. And what I'd really love to do is get into like some serious smart home stuff and see what is plugged in, what's running, that's generating like on a granular basis. That's the kind of stuff I'm anxious to get into and have all of that plotted and on a graph and maximize the shit out of all of this. Because otherwise you're just sitting up there stockpiling credits with the power company, not really knowing what you're running. Like, for example, why not I can go put one of those kilowatt devices on the washing machine or the dryer, right? I don't know if it'll do 220. It might. But I want to get into this. Like, my inner electrical nerd wants to just go nuts with this. You were choosing not to proceed. Your roof setup is supposedly not conducive enough to generation for 100% offset. Let me choose my words carefully here. When I first met with Sunrun, I met with a couple of other ones, or I had a phone conversation with a couple of other ones, and they looked at Google Photos of my address, and they were like, yeah, we can only do about 15 panels. Really? There's a giant roof up there. There's like multi-tier roof up there. When I met with Sunrun, they asked me what my expected bill was, and I said, I don't know. I've lived here for 2 weeks. You'll just have to guess, but I can tell you that I'm going to be a above average user of power. I've got 2 data center racks. I've got tons of power tools and big TVs, new washing machine and dryer, all of that stuff. She said, well, there's a limitation on what the state and county will approve based on your area, and we can only put in certain systems that... So what we did was we had a special exemption made because of what you see back there. And me proclaiming that it was going to be expanded and require much more power. When you put in special circumstances like that, they can up your system a little bit. So I was able to I said, I want to max out the roof. I want your engineers to put as many panels as they possibly can on there. So they spec'd it out to 31 panels, which would generate, I think it was in the neighborhood of 51 and change kilowatt hours per day. But I had to file for a special consideration, special exemption, and be able to get that many panels. So right from day one, I have as many panels as I can possibly get up there. It's not like I have the option to change the panel or add additional panels as I grow or anything. Nope, it's fully maxed out. There is no other place really, no other efficient place to put panels that gets sunlight all day. 31 panels, 31 inverters, all in parallel, all generating together. My house actually is in a perfect spot. It's at a high elevation, and it's at the length of the house. It's a long, narrow kind of style of house. So it's the front of the house points to the east, and the back of the house points to the west. So the sun rises at the front of the house, sits at the top of the house all day, and finally sets at the back of the house. I have all day power generation. It's going to be interesting to see how much it actually generates in reality versus their estimates. Here's the cool part. One of the benefits of working with Sunrun is that over the course of the 25-year agreement, if it doesn't generate the power that was proposed and agreed upon, they swap it out for a different system, free of charge, no cost to you. They'll come out and just upgrade the system to be a higher whatever, right? So as the cells and the panels age, if it falls below that engineered spec of 50 whatever kilowatt hours per day and it's not able to keep up, they'll come out and swap the system out. Put new panels, new inverters, expand it, whatever they need to do. The problem is there's no more room to expand. Their job, Sunrun's job, regardless of what panels or how many, is to get me to 51 and change kilowatt hours per day, right? As long as they're doing that, that's what I'm paying them to do. And if I'm ever unhappy with it, they'll come and take it off, no cost to me. Done and done. Rent to own, no obligation there. It'll pay itself off over the course of 25 years, or if I want to, there's no penalty for just early payoff. And I think if I wanted to buy the entire system outright, it was going to be like 48 grand, right? So even I might do it for a couple of years, and once the payments start going up and up and up above $200 a month, I might just pay it off. Who knows? Your proposal shows 20 panels. Okay. That's not nothing. What's the square footage of the house, if you don't mind me asking? Or do you have a square footage of like a single floor? Because it's not the whole house square footage. It's was that with Sunrun, Vinny? Or who did you get a proposal from? Or Element or whoever the other ones are? Okay. Hang on a second. I know I shared it in, I think it was Home Improvement. Oh, God. I'm trying to remember where I shared the screenshot, I thought, of the, it might have been in supporters. I'm looking. I'm digging. It's in here somewhere. Because I specifically remember sharing it. I just can't remember whether it was in Home Improvement or... What are we back to now? November 18th? That's a little far back. November 16th. Yeah, I was trying to find... I'll see if I can find my Vinny and I'll show it to you in Discord. Because I try to pull it up now and it just takes me to a login. Like, the proposal part's gone on the website. You know what? I'm pretty sure I did DM it to Jason at some point. Scrolling. Yeah, I didn't do I don't think I did a screenshot. I showed him the link. Oh well. I'll figure it out and send it to you, Vinny. Both of them are in there? Okay. Home Improvement on December 8th. Okay. I'll take a look at them when we get done here. Anyway, that's the solar story. Also, Esther and I are both kind of... There's nothing out there outside of Teslas right now that she and I really have our eye on. As far as vehicles, I definitely have my eye on the Ford Lightning truck whenever that's going to get here, as a potential. But I mean, I don't want to get EVs until we have power walls. LG also makes a battery, a wall battery. LG wall battery. But I don't know if they include these in the package with Sunrun. So I don't want to have an EV until we have battery storage to store energy, right? So that's a big deal for me as well. Because right now, any over generation that we do just goes back to the grid. So I want to stockpile my own batteries and then send the excess beyond that to the grid. I want to do everything I can to make sure that I don't have any more than a connection fee to the grid. That's my goal. Regardless of all the shit that I'm running here in the house. Over time, obviously. This isn't all going to happen next week, but I'm talking about like over the course of the next 2 years, right? Once we get all that sorted out, I think it's a no-brainer for Esther and I to go EVs. It makes too much sense. It's definitely a long-term play here. Bit of a strategy. Is this Michael Jackson? The way you make me feel. No, it's definitely... Hang on a minute. Hang on. I swear that sounded like Michael Jackson's The Way You Make Me Feel. Listen to this. Not this part. The verse. Keeping you satisfied, 'cause you're the one for me, way you make me feel. It's different keys, but it's there. You can kind of hear it and feel it. Interesting. So yeah, that's the plan. Vinny, if I were you, I would do it once, maximize. If they tell you you can put no more than 20 panels on the roof, it's really not about the number of panels. There's different size panels. There's different power capacity inverters. Like, maximize the amount of power you can generate in kilowatt hours. Because that's the core metric you're going to be working with. Maximize the number of kilowatt hours that you can generate and store. What you send back to the power company will be measured in kilowatt hours. I'll take a look at the proposal as soon as I get off here. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see that the only battery that Sunrun seemed to have was the Tesla Powerwalls, and she said you can't even order those right now. They're so back ordered, you cannot even place an order for them for at least another 9 months. And I was like, damn. So I told her, I said, put me down for 4. I'll take what I can get whenever we get them. And I think with the 25-year rent-to-own thing, it ends up being $50 a month per Powerwall, but you can pay those off individually. So I think they were something like, I don't know, $2,500 a piece. I don't know. But I mean, you could, if you get 2 of them, you could just write the check if you wanted to. But having those, to me, is what's really going to unlock the ability to store energy and be off the grid. Not off the grid in the traditional sense, but not drawing power from the grid. So yeah, look into the battery stuff as well. I may end up just getting the LG ones on my own. I mean, where do you even get a price for the LG ones? Get started. When you go solar, ask for the brand you trust, LG. If I just wanted to buy a battery, where do I do that? Contact LG Solar. See, the problem is you put any of this shit in and you start getting phone calls relentlessly. because LG will have certified installers, and there's 10 of them in every city, and they just all start calling you. Yeah, I just want to. How much are they? How much are the batteries? Get started. That's the same page. Poop. Whatever. So I'm gonna go swap the switches. Probably got to do a little bit of config work. Take the internet down. Get some food. And then swap a bunch of door handles in the house. I wanted to show you guys, I was conflicted a little bit. I wanted to show you guys more of the build out of the studio than I have. It just kind of happened. I just got going, and to stop and put up a tripod and turn the stream on and set up a mic so that I can talk with you. Like, it just seemed like it was, so I just wanted to go. So it's all mostly done at this point. It's more organizational than anything. I've got the shelf put up over here. I got to put some tripod hanging rails under it. But that's going to be cool when that's done. Have the cameras and the lenses all out on display. I also kind of want to set up a little ingest station there that will ingest. I can just put an SD card in it, and it'll pull everything in, and over 10 gig, take it back to the rack, to the Synology. That'll be cool. Or eventually the NetApp. We'll see. More videos coming. We're going to be doing Azure NetApp Files next. I got 3 videos coming for Azure NetApp Files. Then, of course, we're going to do my 2021 recap and my 2022 and beyond for the next year, what I think the big things are going to be. I like doing recap videos, but looking back at what the substantial things were more than I like looking forward, predictions and all of that kind of stuff, because all of those get a little bit I'm also working on putting one together on who is NetApp, where did it come from, and why should you care about what NetApp's doing in the cloud in 2022 and beyond. It's a little bit of a fun revisit of history. I pulled out the old Dave Hitz, How to Castrate a Bull, read through some of that again with him and James, remembered some old stories from Tom Mendoza, made a bunch of notes, but I'm working on writing that up to talk about the evolution of the company and where we are today versus where we're going. So I think that'll be a fun video. Other stuff, like videos are going to be a big part of my year for the next 12 months. Live streams, videos. I want to do more short form content. We're going to get in touch with Approved Networks, and we're going to get my Instagram and YouTube handles back. That's tops of my list, because the company name is Approved Networks. The channel name is Approved Networks. Why did they make their YouTube URL Data Center Dude? They just don't know what they're doing. Sorry. So, they did name the channel Data Center Dude. But here's the thing. Last video was put up 7 months ago. So, yeah. Change the channel to Approved Networks. Do they have another channel for Approved Networks? No, that's their website link. Okay. Yeah. Change this to Approved Networks. Give me my URL back. Or I will go pay to have it trademarked and send you a cease and desist. Like, it's got to be that cut and dry. So we're gonna solve that ASAP, because I don't give a shit that they call themselves data center. I want the URLs. I want the handles. Now they're just squatting. The Instagram's even worse. One post. No, I don't want to sign in. Why do I have to sign in to look at an Instagram post? Fine. Oh, sakes. I don't even know why I want to get back into Instagram and Face. I just want to get rid of all of it. Anyway, I just wanted to. It's from 2019. One post. Anyway, change it to Approved Networks. Change it to the company name. And we're done. Right? Call the channel data center dude if you want to. I don't give a shit. I want the URL. I want the handle. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. 50-50 on whether or not we're streaming Friday. Probably if we do, it's going to be because we're going to be building that beast, finishing that off. Might have to cut some more tubes, get all of that sorted out, trace the runs, pressure test everything, work on some of the cabling, and if we get that far, put some water in the thing and let it run for 24 hours to leak test. Right? But I mean, the leak tester is going to tell us if we got leaks or not. The pressure tester will tell us if we've got leaks or not. So we'll see. Stream Friday, please. Okay. It's Christmas Eve. I didn't know if people would be up for it or not. But yeah, we'll definitely do it Friday. I'll come on. At worst case, we'll play some video games. You know, we'll do something. We'll hang out. We'll chat about stuff. All kinds of good stuff. But I'm going to go change these switches out, get some configs going. And I got some doorknobs to change and shower curtains to hang. Good times. Good times. Thanks for hanging today, guys. Vinny, I'll take a look at the solar proposal in a little bit. And I'll get back to you. But we'll see you guys Friday. Peace.